everybody, welcome back to the Chaotic Little Book Corner. My name is Acacia. Welcome, fellow cyborgs. Welcome to this channel. A lot of you are coming over from Amanda's channel. A few of you have found me of your own volition, which is fabulous. I am so excited to have all of you guys, new subbies. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Chaotic Little Book Corner family. We have fun. We got a little nutty, but that's okay. For those of you who are new here, I am going to let you guys know a couple of things about myself. One, I suffer from a mental illness that has caused me to be unemployed. That is how I read so much. I will link all of my information down in the description bar, talking about what my mental illness is, a Q&A. Anyone who has questions that were not answered in the Q&A, you are welcome to ask them. I have no problem talking about my mental illness, and I probably will be making another video talking about it in the future. So that is the first thing to tell you guys, and the reason I bring that up is because the second thing I want to talk about is really quickly. So I asked a lot of you guys what you guys wanted to see on my channel from here on out. And a lot of you guys were like, either do it exactly what you want, this is your channel, la la la, we support you. Awesome, possum, I'm very happy about that. And then a few of you were like, no, just stick with books. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to stick with books and what I've always talked about, which is feminism, rape culture, and mental illness. Those three things I talk about when I get deeper into books, and you guys know this. So, I am I'm not potentially. When there is a shift in the political system that influences mental health, females, and or rape culture, I will be doing a video potentially talking about it if it affects me strong enough that I feel the urge to discuss, basically. But the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to put those little parentheses things around it, and there's going to be a P at the end of the title of my video, meaning it's political. So you guys have no reason to click on it if you don't want to. It is not a problem. If I have the energy, I will try and post a second video that same day that I post the political video, talking about books as well for you. If not, you'll just have to wait a day. But the point of that being that you will no longer have to worry about whether or not you're going to click on a political video that you don't want to see. You will know first and foremost from the title that that's going to be a thing. It's not going to happen often, I can promise you that, and it probably won't happen for a while. You guys know how angry I am about the election and how things went and how I'm pissed and it's wrong and blah, blah, blah. You know that, so I don't need to go into that. Now, the other thing I'm going to just tell you guys really quick is a disclaimer. The disclaimer is December. I'm going to be doing Vlogmas, which means there's going to be a video a day. You guys know I like to film in bulk. You're going to see this Christmas onesie a lot. There's no way around it, guys. I'm going to wear it a lot because it's going to be Christmas time. It's going to be on me a lot, so you're going to see it. And yes, I have about 4 days of Vlogmas that I haven't completely decided what I'm going to do. And for those 4 days, I would love to take requests down in the comment videos. Nope, in the comment section. If anyone has any questions or comments, let me know down there. Let's jump in. This is my nonfiction mid-month November wrap-up. Now, the first two books that I read are the fictional ones. Now, those two are The Driver's Seat by Muriel Spark and Murakami's Norwegian Wood. Murakami and I liked this book. I enjoyed it for what it was. I think that the way that the depression was written in the main female character was accurate. However, she wasn't even really a main female character. She was used more as an elusive other and kind of ethereal. I will not be continuing on with Murakami's work. This will stay on my shelf, but it's not for me. I felt really, really kind of like objectified as a person with mental illness. The conversations about depression and sadness and loving those who have that was really well executed for the most part, but it felt something didn't mesh for me. If you want to hear more thoughts on it, let me know, but that's really all I have to say. The other one is Muriel Sparks, The Driver's Seat. Adam from Memento Mori will be linked down below. I blame him for this, and I blame him for all the other ones I've ordered. And I'm so happy about it, because I really enjoy Muriel Sparks' writing. I think it's fabulous. It's really eloquent and different and sassy and really fun, and it's cozy, but it doesn't make you feel so fluffy that you're just like, oh, this is cute. No, no, no. There's like depth to it, and there's grit, and there's grime, and I feel as if Muriel Sparks is a great author to dive into. The Driver's Seat, for those of you who don't know, is a story about a woman who leaves her job and starts to go on an adventure, and that's all I'm going to tell you, because that's all I knew, and that worked out really well for me. I can't wait to continue to dive into more Muriel Sparks. I just might not do it immediately, but we'll see. Girl Up by Laura Bates. So this is by the author of Everyday Sexism. A lot of people on the comments, or let me rephrase that, in the review section of Goodreads, were talking about how it's a really YA style book. Okay, great. I can kind of agree with that. I mean, first of all, if you are easily offended, please look away. There are dancing vaginas. Okay, it's a very bright cover. It's definitely a YA style book. I'm okay with that. For what it is, it's brilliant. It breaks down the conversation of what to do when a gentleman sends you an unrequested, inappropriate photo. It talks about how to address eating and food and health and all of those things. It really addresses feminism at a very base level. It's for those of you who are really not 100% comfortable with feminism, I think this is a great book for anyone who's really feeling like feminism is too big of a subject for them. And I feel personally like feminism has been this elusive, strong woman thing that I was not allowed to have for many years. I really struggled to be a feminist for many years because I felt that that was only reserved for the women who were intelligent and for the women who were strong and for the women who had something that they could show the world. And I never thought I had that. To be completely honest, I thought I was completely useless. I thought I didn't understand sexism. I thought I was totally wrong on how to be a female. This really takes that and kind of tells you, no, you're doing it right. You're just doing it differently. And it was really helpful. It was a really interesting conversation. It was really honest and well executed. And for a YA, it's brilliant. And for a book for any female at any age, it's really helpful. And it just kind of gives you a baseline of feminism as well as a baseline of how to treat yourself as a female. And this does not just include females that are born female. This includes women who are transgender, who are... Oh dear, she did a whole conversation of all the different ways you can define a female, and it's all in here. And she does address all of that. She really does, and it's really well done. I don't remember each and every topic, and I'm very sorry about that, but it's in there. So it's a really good. Shroom. This is a culture history of the magic mushroom, and it's by Andy Letcher. I learned a lot. It was a lot of history, like dry history. I didn't feel like I was reading something I loved. I felt like I was reading a textbook with a really interesting subject. Does that make sense? I wanted this to be almost like an LSD ride where you were like in the mindset of someone who could take shrooms, but instead it was really just, this is a mushroom, this is what it does, this is how it works, this is when it was taken, this is what it caused. And while those things were very interesting, I wasn't crazy about how it was executed. It was a lot. It almost felt like, I'm smarter than you, so I'm going to write this book for you. And that bothers me in nonfiction. But I really like the subject matter, so I'm hoping to look more into the idea of hallucinogenic drugs and the history of them, but maybe not with this author. Then I received this from Grand Central Publishing. I put in a request for this the day I saw that it was a thing, and I didn't hear back from them. And then I got an email from the publisher asking if I wanted a copy, and I was like, yeah, I already emailed you about this. And I was so stoked, and I got it, and I sat down and read it in 3 days, and I couldn't be more happy. This is The Daily Show, an oral history, and it's written by Chris Smith and forwarded by Jon Stewart, and it's told by all of the people like Jon Stewart, Steve Carell, Stephen Colbert, John Oliver, Trevor Noah, all of The Daily Show, Samantha Bee. Oh my god, I love Samantha Bee. How could I forget Samantha Bee? She is queen of the nightly news. She's queen of the nightly news, of the comedy world of the nightly news. Ugh. I'm really scared that the liberal media, because let's be real here, they're pretty liberal, is gonna get shut down a little bit with the shift in power coming in. But this really talks about how they survived during the Bush administration. It talks about the history of the show. It talks about how John got the show in the first place. It talks about the relationships behind the scene. It talks about how all of this show started as an idea and turned into a true news show. And that was a really big conversation to have. I was terrified when I saw the length of it, because it's about, I want to say it's about 500 pages long. And it went super fast because it's an oral history, and I'll show you how it's written. So it's written with just little blurbs, and you're just reading what someone says and thinks, and it's really, really easy, and it really reads quick and fast. I so enjoyed this. I think it's fabulous and really important, especially for those of you who like The Daily Show and are curious as to why it took a different twist or why Jon Stewart left. I am a big fan of Jon Stewart. I think he's really, really a wonderful human, a strong man, and a really big influence in the industry. And so I was so blessed and so excited to get this. And plus, let's talk about end papers. I love these end papers. They're like the news little blurbs at the bottom. Yep, it's a thing. I'm a nerd about it, and I'm going to be a nerd again. So this was really wonderful. I gave it a solid 4.5. The reason I didn't give it 5 is I don't know. I'm going to be honest there. It felt like there was just something missing. I don't know what it was. Maybe I'll change my mind in the long run, but I really, really loved it. And then my other one, now I put a request in for this one from the publisher. I don't know if I told you guys this story. I had a minor meltdown. I found out that this book was coming out. I wrote the publisher at 11 p.m. I didn't hear from them within 5 minutes. It was 11 p.m. I don't know why I panicked. I panicked. I then ordered it on pre-order and then received an email from them the next day, and they sent me a NetGalley edition of it. This is the only book I've read cover to cover in ebook form, and then I didn't want to talk about it until I had the physical book. 1, I don't know how to put the pictures over here. Don't know how to do it. 2, I really prefer to show you guys the physical books, because the books that I read that I don't have a physical book to show you, I usually didn't like. And I know you guys want to hear more about the books I didn't like, and I'm going to get to it, I promise. But it's really hard for me to talk about those, because I just don't want to give them screen time. But that's fine. I'll get to it. We'll start doing it. You saw the turn of the screw. It fell down. I'm trying. All right. So the book that I read was Trevor Noah, Born a Crime. This book is stories from a South African childhood. Now, you guys know how much I've been focusing on the idea of expanding my horizon as far as culture and race, and I really wanted to do the Black Writers Matter. I've really tried to push that. It hasn't really taken off, other than Miss Amanda Center. And I've challenged myself for this, and I've tried, and it's harder than I thought it was going to be. I'm still managing to buy a lot of books from outside of my comfort zone, books that talk about the Black culture, that talk about Black history, all of these things. But this book really, for me, felt very important, because this is a man who is Black, is a pillar in our news world right now. Now, I'm sure there are other Black anchors out there. I really miss Larry Wilmore. That man was fantastic, and I wish he'd been around for the rest of the election because he deserved to be. He had the right to be. He started it, he deserved to finish it, but he didn't get to, and that was unfair. And I think that Trevor Noah is starting to pull that in, and I think it's making a lot of people uncomfortable, some of my family members included, because a lot of them are like, I don't really like Trevor Noah. And I'm like, why? And they're like, I don't know, I can't put my finger on it. And I think it's because Trevor Noah is kind of telling us things that are a little ridiculous about our society, because he's seen some really effed up crap in his life. He's seen some bad stuff in South Africa, and he really dealt with racism. He dealt with the idea of being unfit in either society, white or black. He really had no place. It was a really interesting upbringing. The conversation of religion is brought up in this book. The conversation of race is brought up in this book. The conversation of just being a person who enjoyed comedy and how it helps him get through got brought up in this book. That was such an important piece of him and who he is now, and I think that he's starting to bring that forward into the show of The Daily Show. And now that he's starting to do that, it's starting to challenge a lot of people, and I don't know if everyone likes the challenge, especially with everything that's going on in the Black Lives Matter movement. And I think that really this book is so important and so valuable, because we really need to understand where this gentleman is coming from when he is sitting there and telling us the news. And he's coming at it from a perspective of a place where dictatorship is real, where police brutality is a real thing that is proven but not fixed. And it is really fascinating to me that he is telling us our news with such a neutral feeling and not bringing more of his own experience into it and shaking us and saying, this is happening, guys. This is what could happen if you don't get your crap together. This is what should happen. This is what, you know, you need to change. And he has the capability to say these things, but he's maintaining a pretty controlled persona of himself. But when he does challenge a lot of his viewers, it sometimes backfires, and that makes me really sad. That's been my reading month so far. It's been a lot of work, a lot of depth, a lot of stress, a lot of weirdness. My nonfiction November has been very hard because of the political system and what's been happening. I've really struggled with reading, and I focused on Jon Stewart and Trevor Noah when the election finally came through, because it was all I could do. And I needed a voice of reason in that moment, and I needed a voice that kind of helped me push through. And I still have these books behind me. Those are all the nonfictions that I plan to get to. I have 3 on my bed right now. I will see if I get to all of those. If I don't, I'm really not stressing it, because I've done really well so far, and I'm really proud of myself. And I know that Thanksgiving's coming up, and I know that holidays are coming up, and it's hard. It's hard to put time into this sort of stuff. I struggle with it myself, and I'm hoping to get a few of these books on Audible to listen to them while I'm in the car with my family, or not listening to my grandparents talk about how wonderful the Republican Party is. Anyway, you guys, I love you all so much. So glad some of you are new here. I'm so glad you guys have stuck with me. I'm just so happy that you guys are all here, and I missed you all very much while I was gone last week. And I know I've already said that once before, but I needed to say it again. And yeah, I love you guys. Bye.